Hello and welcome or welcome back. I'm the Tilted Crown Gourmet. Today we're going to be doing the national dish of Brazil, and it's called feijoada, which is a black bean stew. So let's get some prep done and let's get cooking.
A few days before you're going to make your feijoada, I recommend that you make carne seca, which is jerked beef. Take your cross-cut boneless ribeye and butterfly it. In an appropriate size container, place a layer of kosher salt. Now place your beef atop the salt and then cover it entirely with more salt. Use a lot of salt. Cover it with a lid and place it in the refrigerator. The next day, remove it from the refrigerator and remove any liquid. Next, you want to remove all of the used wet salt from the container. To your now clean and dry container, add a layer of salt as you did before, replace your beef, and cover again in salt. You'll repeat this process until no further liquid comes out. Once you've achieved this, cut off the amount that you would like to use for your feijoada and wrap the remainder in plastic wrap and place it in the freezer. With the part that you've removed for your feijoada, rinse it thoroughly. Cut it into cubes, then place it into a strainer. Place that strainer under cold running water to, again, thoroughly rinse off all the salt. One day before you're going to make your feijoada, you want to go and pick through your beans. I have a black countertop, therefore it's much easier for me to put down a white cloth so I can see any foreign objects that may still be remaining in the beans. Pick through the beans and place them into a bowl. Once in the bowl, you want to run cold running water over them and rinse them off. Repeat this process. Then fill your bowl with water and set it aside so they can soak for at least 24 hours. Take your pork ribs and slice them so you have individual ribs. Place them in a bowl and season. Take your smoked sausage and slice it diagonally, creating oblong rings. Slice your bacon into approximately 1/4-inch chunks. Heat your olive oil in a pot while you continue to prepare your meat. Debone your pork chop and cut it into bite-sized pieces. Brown all of your ribs, making sure to do it in batches as you do not want to overcrowd your pot, because if you do, they will steam and not brown. After you've browned all of your ribs, remove them all and set them on a plate. Next, you want to brown your smoked sausage. Again, when you've completed that, remove it and place it aside. Now place your bacon into that pot to brown it and render the fat from the bacon. While the bacon is rendering, dice your onions. Also, while your bacon is rendering, dice your garlic. After your bacon has browned and rendered, add your onions. Once the onions are soft, add your garlic. Next, add in your smoked ham hock, followed by the smoked sausage, your ribs, followed by your pork chops. At that point, you're going to realize that your pot is way too small, so you're going to move it all to a much larger pot. After you've moved it to a much larger pot, add in your pork chop bones as well as your carne seca. You'll follow that by adding in your black beans and then your chicken stock. Top with bay leaves and enough filtered water just to make sure everything is covered. Bring it to a boil and then reduce to a simmer. Season well with salt and pepper. I also add cumin. After approximately 4 hours, all of the meat should be falling off the bone. At that point, remove all of the bones from the feijoada. Now let's make our farofa. In a large skillet, add your bacon and cook until just before it's crispy. At this point, we want to add our onion and cook until they are soft. Now add your red bell pepper and then your garlic. Push to one side of the pan and add your beaten eggs. Scramble the eggs and then mix with your bacon mixture. Again, push that to one side of the pan and add your cassava flour. Toast that until it's lightly browned and mix with your bacon and egg mixture. Turn off the heat and add your chopped parsley and set aside. For your collard greens, heat up some olive oil and butter. Once the butter has melted, add your garlic. Next, add your shredded collard greens and mix thoroughly. Cook until wilted, tossing constantly. Feel free to add salt You will not need to add any pepper as you will use pepper sauce with the feijoada. Next, make your plantains. Simply melt some butter in a skillet, add your cut plantains, and top with sugar. Cook for approximately 5 minutes or until browned on one side, and then flip and cook an additional 5 minutes on the other. Once browned on both sides, remove and set aside. Now it's time to plate your Brazilian feast. Not only do we have our feijoada, but we have our collard greens, our Brazilian farofa, our plantains, our rice, as well as the traditional orange segments. This is the Tilted Crown Gourmet. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Wishing you bon appetit.